Hello friends, I welcome to all into my YouTube channel Literature Insights. Today I am going to share one more video with you on understanding poetry. In my last video, what is poetry? In that video, I defined the meaning of poetry by using the definitions of well-known poets and critics in English literature. I explain free verse as a modern form of poetry, the meaning of free verse, and some major features of free verse poetry in English literature. I also explain some prominent examples of free verse poetry in English literature. In this video on understanding poetry, I define some major tools, techniques, and elements of poetry which are essential for the understanding and comprehension of poetry. So let's see in my today's video on understanding poetry. In this video I talk about understanding poetry. It is significant for the learners of English literature to understand the basic rules, tools, elements and techniques of poetry which are significant in composition as well as in understanding and comprehension of poetry. For the understanding of poetry, it is important to know these rules, techniques, elements, tools of poetic composition. So poetry is composed of certain rules, tools and techniques. For the better understanding of poetry, it is an essential to know these rules and techniques of poetic composition. Poetry is taught into class like a riddle. Generally we know in our classroom students consider poetry as a difficult genre because it taught into the class like a riddle which is difficult to understand the learners of English literature. So after reading poem, there are certain basic questions must be raised in our mind for the understanding of poetry as belows. What does the poet really want to say or convey through his poem? After reading poem, the reader should able to understand what does poet really want to say or convey through his poem. Reader should able to understand what is the theme of the poem, what is the role of diction in the poem. After reading poem, reader should able to understand the role of diction or words used by the poet in his poem. Significance of images and symbols. Poet used varied images and symbols for interpreting the literary meaning of poem. So it is an important to the learners of English literature to understand the significance of images and symbols used by the poet in his poetry. We should able to understand figures of speech and their connotative meaning. Sound patterns and stanza forms. As we know, sound patterns are very significant in composition of poetry because it creates a musical effect with the help of rhyme, rhythm and meter. Stanza forms are identified by the lines used by the poet in his poetry. Types of poetry. Here we talk about two basic types of poetry, lyrical poetry and descriptive or narrative poetry. So these are all questions in relate to the elements of poetry. Therefore, it is necessary to make aware with these elements of poetry, theme, diction, images and symbols, figures of speech, sound patterns and stanza forms, which are very significant in composition as well as in understanding of poetry. So now here, elements of poetry. The basic elements of poetry is divided into two categories for the comprehension of poem, such as content and form. So here is a question, what is content? It answers question what. For example, what is the theme of the poem? What is the message of the poem? What is the subject matter of the poem? So these questions are nothing but the content of the poem. Then another question raised in our mind, what is form? Form is types of poetry. As we have seen earlier, there are two types of poetry, lyrical poetry and descriptive or narrative poetry. So here we can analyze the basic elements of poetry under these two broad categories. So now here elements of poetry divided into content and elements of poetry. In content we have to see theme, subject, message, biography of poet, context. Elements of poetry we have to see types of poetry, lyrical poetry, descriptive and narrative poetry. Kinds of poetry, ode, elegy, sonnet, ballad, epic, idyll. Meaning of poetry, diction, connotation, denotation, figures of speech, which are very significant in meaning of poetry. Structure of poetry, stanza forms, sound patterns of poetry, rhyme, rhythm and meter. So these elements are very important in composition as well as in understanding of poetry. So readers should have the knowledge of these elements in enough manner to understand poetry. So now here we will see the first point, content. Under content there is a theme, subject, message. After reading the poem, the first response of the reader is to answer the following questions. So here, what is the theme of the poem? After reading, reader should able to understand the theme of the poem. What is the subject matter of the poem? Reader should able to understand the what type of subject matter deals throughout the poem by the poet. What is the message conveyed by the poet? What type of message he has been conveyed through his poetry? So these are very important questions that arouse in our mind after reading particular poet's poem. So poem is an expression of reader's experience throughout his reading of poem. Then poet may be depict an object or record of his impression, feelings or emotions aroused by the object. So poet can depict subjective or objective element with his own perspective. So now here the tone of the poet is subjective or objective. The poem could be about any object such as the sun, the moon, the tree, the nature, about people and places, about incidents and surrounding happenings. If he depict about these objects in his poetry, that is called objective poetry. Or if he deals through his poem about some subjective or personal elements of his own life, that is called subjective poetry. Then there is another point, biography and context. In biography is very significant to know for the readers, because without his biography he did not understand the poem in thorough manner. So it is important to understand the biographical sketch of the poets. Poet writes his own biography before the poem to share his own lives or personal life event or his own career or whatever influences upon his own personality with readers for the better comprehension and understanding of poetry. So poet is influenced by his surroundings and footings. Knowledge of the poets and individual life event help to understand the poem. So it is important for the readers of poetry to understand the individual or personal life event of the poet to understand the poem thoroughly. If he writes poem in a subjective manner, it is very important to understand these subjective elements, individual life event, which will help to understand the context of his poem. Then another point, context. So as we know, context is very significant in any literary genre. So now here there can be no text without context. The text should have a context, and context may be historical, political, geographical, religious, cultural, ideological references that are found in a poem. A good poem has a multiple meanings. For example, T.S. Eliot's poem Four Quartets has multiple meanings and interpretations. A study of contextual references of poem to help us to understand the poem. So now we will deal with next point, that is from elements of poetry. So in elements of poetry, first, types of poetry. Basically poetry can be divided into two types, lyrical and descriptive or narrative poetry. So what does mean lyrical? So now here the poems that express emotions, thoughts and feelings of speaker, usually in the first person, are considered lyrical poem. So odes, sonnets, elegies are example of lyric poetry. The descriptive or narrative poem uses third person narration of the object. So here ballad and epics are examples of descriptive and narrative poetry. So ode, lyric, ode, elegy, sonnet, ballad and epic are types of poetry. So here we just mention the names of these types of poetry, but in the next video I will define each types of poetry in a detailed manner for the comprehension of poetry. So it is very important for the reader to understand these basic types of poetry, because every writer or poet writes his poetry in these particular types of poetry. So then, meaning of poetry. Poetry is a verbal act and uses words for description and narration of the objects and physical or mental states. Use of figurative language. The poet used figurative language in a poem to appeal emotions, thoughts, and feelings and suggest rather than denoting. Words have two kinds of meaning: denotative meaning and connotative meaning. For example, the word rose in Robert Burns' poem A Red Rose, and he used expression like my love is like a red rose. Here word rose connotes various ideas like beauty, delicacy, and so on. Therefore, in poetry, words cannot be appreciated and understood by the dictionary meaning. It should be understood by the context of the words given by the poet in his poetry. Meaning in poetry is more implicit than explicit. The use of figures of speech, also known as figurative or connotative device. The use of language in poetry leads us to specific elements of poetry known as figures of speech, also known as figurative or connotative device. A figure of speech or a rhetorical figure is an intentional deviation from ordinary language chosen to produce a rhetorical effect. So now here the most commonly used figures of speech or poetic devices in poetry are as follows. So now here are some of the most significant figures of speech used by the poet in their poetries. So now here alliteration, anaphora, antithesis, apostrophe, assonance, consonance, euphemism, hyperbole, irony, metaphor, metonymy, onomatopoeia, oxymoron, personification, simile, synecdoche. These are most commonly used figure of speech or poetic devices in poetry. So these are the above most important figures of speech is associated with literature and poetry. So it is an essential to understand these figures of speech for the understanding or comprehension of poetry. Here I just mention the names of figures of speech, but in the next video I define each and every figure of speech in detail with the proper examples of figures of speech. So then, structure of poetry. The structure of poetry is very significant because a poem is structured through various arrangements of verse lines. These arrangements of line is known as a stanza. Except free verse form of poetry, poems are written in one or other kind of stanza forms. So as we know, free verse is a modern form of poetry. Here poet has an independent to write his own or her own poetry with their own perspectives. Identification of stanza. Stanza get their names as per the number of lines in a stanza given by the poet. So they are given as below. So now here is a table. Here I have given number of lines in a stanza and the name of that stanza. 2 lines stanza is called couplet. 3 lines stanza is called tercet. 4 lines stanza is called quatrain. 5 lines stanza is called senequent. 6 lines stanza is called sestet. 8 lines stanza is called octave. So these stanza forms are very significant in a structure of poetry. So now here sound patterns of poetry, which is very important to create a musical effect or musical sound or musical ideas in poetry. The origin of the poetry came from the ancient Greek times, where composition played in tune of a stringed instrument called lyre. Then it got the name of lyric. Figures of speech in poetry to produce music of ideas. The music of poetry comes out the certain arrangements of sound, especially through the stressed and unstressed pattern of sounds in poetry. It uses weak form, strong forms of speech sounds. So it is essential for the learner or reader to understand or have the knowledge of speech sound patterns of English language is necessary to understand the sound patterns in English poetry. So rhyme, rhythm and meter are significant components linked to poetry and sound patterns. So rhyme is associated with the sounds of a language. Rhythm is defined as a flow of sounds at regular intervals, and it is an important element of poetry. Meter is systematically organized and arranged rhythm is known as meter. For the comprehension or understanding of rhythm and meter, it is necessary to understand two important types: the types of foot and number of feet. So here first, types of foot. A foot is a basic rhythmic unit in a line of a poem. It consists of two or more stressed and unstressed syllables. The stressed syllable indicate as hyphen and unstressed syllable indicate as small u. There are four basic feet as below. Iambic foot or iamb. So now here the iambic foot is consist of two syllable. One syllable is unstressed and other syllable is stressed. So in this foot, unstressed syllable is followed by stressed one. For example, the word today is a two syllable words. To is unstressed and day is stressed. The first syllable is unstressed and the second syllable is stressed. So it is very important to know these foot for the understanding of poetry. Then trochaic foot and trochee. So now it is also two syllable foot. One is stressed and another is unstressed. In this two syllable foot, we can find the reverse position of iambic foot. Here stressed syllable is followed by unstressed one. For example, the word heavy, the first syllable he is stressed and the second syllable v is unstressed. Then anapastic foot or anapast. So now it is a three syllable feet. So it is important to the know learners. So it is consist of two unstressed syllable then one stressed syllable. So anapast is a three syllable feet with rising rhythm, two unstressed syllables followed by stressed one. For example, overdue. In overdue we can see earlier two syllable is unstressed and last syllable is stressed. Dictylic foot or dictyl. So here we can find the reverse position of anapastic foot. So first syllable is stressed and second two syllable is unstressed. So it is reverse of anapastic foot. One stressed syllable is followed by two unstressed syllables. For example, fortunate. Here we can find the first syllable is stressed and the last two syllable is unstressed. So then number of feet. So now here the second part of the meter is a number of feet contained in a line, and numbers of feet in a line give it the metrical terms as below. So now here is a table where we can see how do we call one foot by their name. So here I have given a foot and the metrical terms. So now 1 foot is called monometer, 2 foot is called diameter, 3 foot is called trimeter, 4 feet is called tetrameter, 5 feet is called pentameter, 6 foot is called hexameter. So these are the important number of feet. So it is very important to know the reader to understand this structure of poetry. It is very significant in composition as well as in understanding. Video I define some prominent elements of poetry which are very important for the understanding and comprehension of poetry. So with this I take your leave, and if you like my videos, please subscribe my YouTube channel Literature Insights. Share and like my videos on YouTube.